Alright, so this is the video to explain some tips about power chrono, DPS chrono. First of all, I'm not good enough to pretend to give the best tips, so these are just my 2 cents to help out, but for sure you can find better advice somewhere else. So before explaining the important parts of the rotation, let's have a quick overview about the build. First of all, on the Snowcross benchmark, they are using domination. I will be using this build because that's the one then you can realistically use everywhere: fractals, reds, and open world too. Domination gives better DPS on Golem, but it's kind of an unrealistic benchmark. I explain why later. So on dueling 1-3-1 and 1-2-1 on illusions. So on illusions, on Snowcross you can find this variant, but they are using Maim the Disillusions. This gives better DPS on Golem, but in my opinion you always want to take Phantasmal haste in all your builds. It gives your illusions quickness, but that's not the main reasons. It's because when your phantasm spawns, it also gives you quickness. So when you start your rotation, you're gonna start with a phantasm anyway, so you will get quickness from your first kill, and as you will be spawning other phantasms, you will have enough quickness to start your full rotation fluently in any combat situation. The other classes, they will have to wait for the Boon Chronomancer to give them the quickness they need. So you can start with your rotation way quicker than other professions. That's really nice with Power Chrono. That being said, Chronomancer is always 2-3-3 and with Chrono Phantasma, and you want to check if you can crit cap, and I did not here because I was just playing fractal, so I have to get another trinket. And if you get cap crit chance, you will have the best DPS output around it. So this build is not optimal at all. I'm not capping on 100. I don't have power infusions, but well, it's still handy. Okay, that's all power. And phantasms, you've got 4 of them. These are your, let's say, best DPS skills around. The best DPS come from this skill, Phantasmal Swordsman. This is very important because all your rotation will rely on getting the most Phantasmal Swordsman as possible. Then the Focus 5 is really good too. It's really good damage. Phantasmal Disenchanter too, and it's also a boon rip. So if the boss has protection, you can use this one. Phantasmal Defender is not the best one, but still great DPS, and it has some CC with it. Good thing to understand too is that when you're reaching a pack of mob, you can start DPSing quite quickly because your Phantasmal Warden and Swordman are both 1200 range, and those are 900. So you can start your rotation from afar. I'm already starting the rotation up, and I'm getting under the boss right now. Wow. those two skills, the AA chain and blurred frenzy, are really close range. So you want to stay the closest to the boss as possible, because all your filler skill between your phantasms will be close range skill. Mind Spike is 1200 range too, and Illusionary Leap 600. Alright, I want to showcase something about phantasmal haste that I showed earlier. I did not put quickness boon on me right now, and I'm gonna do the beginning of the rotation just to show you I can do it all without a boon chrono next to me. Alright, let's see how it works. So I cast my phantasm, more phantasm, I cast them again, signet, and I cast them again. See? I have quickness all the time, and might. So this phantasmal haste trait is really important and really nice. So you also saw that I had might with me. This is quite important. Your phantasms, when they spawn, they give you might, and the phantasmal swordman is 8 might input. It takes some time to build the 25 might boon, so you might consider, when approaching your boss just before starting the encounter, to charge the Mantra of Pain. When you charge it, you get 12 might from it. Okay, so when engaging the enemy, you charge it, then you use your phantasm, and then your signet. So you already have might. I think I've said it all, except for the signet of ether trick. Okay, I'm gonna be right back for this trick. Alright, so let's talk about this signet of ether trick. So during your rotation, the phantasms are a large part of your TPS, so you want to cast all of them. You're gonna cast Phantasmal Warden, Swordman, Disenchanter, and then Defender. Then you will be on Sword of Hand, and if you cast the Signet of Ether, you can cast all of these 3 phantasms again. The trick is to use Continuum Split in the aftercast of Signet of Ether. For when you come back from Continuum Split, you can use your phantasms, but also the Signet of Ether for third utilizations of all your phantasms once more. There is a timing to it, and you kind of have to build the muscle memory around this. So I'm gonna on purpose cast the Signet of Ether on the wrong timing of CS. I'm gonna pop CS too soon, and we'll see what happens. Okay, I cast all of my phantasm, and when I come back of CS, you see, all of my phantasms were on CD, but I could have used the Signet of Ether. Alright, now I'm gonna use CS, but later. Too late for the timing. We'll see what happens. Okay, let's wait. So here, it's the opposite. We can cast all the phantasms, but the Signet of Ether is on CD. So, like last time, we're gonna get every phantasms twice, but not 3 times. So you have to find the right timing between those two, and you have to work on that timing and do it a lot of time. and a lot of time in real situations to get it. And once you have the timing, it gets way easier, and your DPS starts getting better in real fight situation. Cast all of your Phantasm, Signet, and there's a timing here where I can use all of my Phantasm and Signet of Ether for third utilizations of all of them. Weapon swap and the last one. Alright, so working on this trick is very useful work to get a good DPS, because after that managing the Phantasm is quite easy, and then you can fill in the other utilities and DPS abilities you have to get better DPS output after this. But this will already give you some nice DPS output, around 24k. Alright, so I'm gonna showcase a step-by-step rotation after this, just to show how to improve the rotation slowly but efficiently. Alright, so let's try doing the rotation just using the Phantasms and not any other skill. So I'll use this one, Weapon Swap, the Sword 5, the other Phantasm, then Disenchanter, Defender, then the Clone Generation to use the healing skill with CS. Alright, let's go. And I keep using the others. End of CS, AS5, utility 1, utility 2, 5, weapon swap, 5 again, and the other Phantasms. And then you're done. You're done and you wait for the weapon swap. When weapon swap is ready, weapon swap 5, and then you wait again until Disenchanters is ready. Okay, I pop it, wait for 5, then Signet of Ether, 5 again and weapon swap. Get 2 other Phantasms, and as I'm using focus right now, I just wait for the next weapon swap. Weapon swap 5, then you wait for Disenchanter again, use it, 5, Signet, 5, weapon swap 5, the 2 other Phantasms, and we will be able to use CS next time. So weapon swap soon, weapon swap 5, we'll wait for Disenchanter, and then Swordsman, and you see, both of them are always ready on same time. 5, okay, I'm gonna use CS, 5, end of CS, 5, that's the CS burst. Okay, and then it's all over again. I wait for weapon swap. When it's ready, weapon swap 5. I wait for Disenchanter. Swordsman gonna be ready soon, and then Signet. I'm on focus, I'm waiting for weapon swap, and it's always the same all over again. As you may have seen, I fucked up last Swordsman, and still we're getting around 25 DPS right now, just by doing this, not missing any Phantasm. That's the tightest way to get the maximum DPS output from your Phantasms. That's how you do it. CS is ready. We're gonna be able to use it once again, and I don't think it's gonna be useful. Okay, yeah. Golem's dead. Alright, let's go for the second step of the rotation. We're gonna use all the skill we used before, so every Phantasm, and Signet of Ether when it's possible, to get another use of every Phantasm, and when it's possible too, CS in the aftercast of Signet of the Ether. But on top of this, we're now gonna use 2 other skills. Blood Frenzy, we're gonna use this one as a filler So when you can't use any of your phantasms because they are on CD, you're gonna use Blurred Frenzy. The other skill which we are gonna add is Power Spike. Power Spike is it's an instacast, so you can use this skill on top of any other skills. You don't have to cast this one between two other skills. You can cast it on top of them. So while you're casting your phantasm, in the middle of it, you can cast Power Spike. Power Spike, as you can see over here, there's a little 2 because it has 2 counts, and because we do not want to charge Mentor of Pain all over again, we're going to use only 1 count at a time, so it's 1 count every 10 seconds in the rotation. Okay, now you know everything, so I'm going to use all my phantasms, weapon swap, phantasmal swordman, then the illusionary lip, signet of the ether, during continuum split, and then during the continuum split I'm going to use all of my phantasm with Power Spike, and at the end of CS I'm going to add a Blurred Frenzy. After continuum shift I'm going to use all of my phantasm all over again, signet of ether, all of my phantasm all over again, not forgetting to weapon swap back to focus. I'm going to use Mentor of Pain and another Blood Frenzy, okay, and then it's all over again. Let's go. Okay, Mentor of Pain and Blood Frenzy, all of my phantasm, and then the signet, phantasm, weapon swap, Blood Frenzy is ready, I use it with Power Spike. I'm on focus, so I just have to wait for the weapon swap. Weapon swap, Blood Frenzy, and Mentor of Pain. Disenchanter almost ready. Then it's gonna be Blurred Frenzy. 5. I'm gonna use all of my phantasm with Mentor of Pain and Blood Frenzy. I'm on focus, I just have to wait for the weapon swap. When I can weapon swap, I use my phantasm, Mentor of Pain is ready, Disenchanter 2, Blood Frenzy almost, and then it's gonna be 5, Mentor of Pain with the signet and all the phantasms all over again, not forgetting to weapon swap. CS is almost ready. I weapon swap, get ready for CS, so I'm not gonna use this Power Spike. We're gonna use CS with this signet, so we get ready for this. Okay, all over phantasm, Mind Spike, all over the phantasm, all of them again, and we end with Blurred Frenzy. Okay, Power Spike is ready again. And it's the same all over again. We weapon swap to sword, Blurred Frenzy and Power Spike, Disenchanter, etc, etc. Okay, so now we are going for the third part of the rotation step by steps. And we're gonna use everything we used in the second step, and we're gonna add 2 more things again. First one is the easiest, Gravity Well. Gravity Well, you're gonna use this one once every CS, and you're gonna use it at the end of your CS burst. So use all of your phantasm, illusionary lip, signet of ether, CS, all of your phantasm, signet of ether again, all of your phantasm, weapon swap phantasm. You're gonna use your Blurred Frenzy afterwards, and then you use the Gravity Well. Okay. Next thing we're gonna add is a tad more complicated, is the Mind Rack. Mind Rack is a high DPS skill, and you want to use this one when you have 3 clones. Okay? Thing is, during the CS, we do not have time to get 3 clones because we're doing a CS with only 1 clone, so it's too short to generate enough clones. So during the CS, you're gonna use mine rack, let's say at any time. If it's possible, in the CS, you're gonna use mine rack a second time because it has 2 counts too. And Cry of Frustration, which is doing damage too, 510 damage here. F3 and 4 do not do damage, and you want to keep these skills anyway. They are situational, and this one has a good use for CC. So in real fights, you're gonna use this one inside CS2, or you're gonna use this one with 3 clones because you really need that CC. And Distortion is a oh fuck skill. When everything is going wrong, you've got one more chance with this. Okay, so let's try the rotation, just like before, but I'm gonna use these skills too now. Alright, let's go. Okay, you see, I use all of my skills, all of my Phantasm again, Venture of Pain, all the Phantasm again, Weapon Swap, Blood Frenzy, and Gravity Well. I can use all of them, Venture of Pain, Weapon Swap soon, Phantasm, Disenchanter ready soon, with Venture of Pain, and I wait for 3 clones. Okay. Weapon Swap, Venture of Pain, all over Phantasm, and Blur Frenzy is ready, so we're gonna use it afterwards. I have 3 clones, I can use mine rack. Weapon Swap, 5, Venture of Pain almost ready, I use it. Disenchanter soon, then it's gonna be Blur Frenzy. I have 3 clones, Venture of Pain, I use the Signet and all over the Phantasm with the Weapon Swap. I'm gonna soon have 3 clones, so I use them. And I'm on focus, I get ready for Weapon Swap. Next step is gonna be CS, Beats of City. So I'm not gonna use Mind Rack on my clones, because I need them for CS. And here, all of the Phantasm, Blood Frenzy, all the Phantasm again, all of my clones, all the Phantasm, get ready for Gravity Well, all of the Phantasm, and close, Gravity Well, clones again, and I Weapon Swap back to Sword. Okay, and then it's all over, it's the same again. Disenchanter, Blood Frenzy, I can use my clones, my Signet and Venture of Pain, I use a lot of my Phantasm, and Blood Frenzy after this, Venture of Pain, I wait for my clones, etc, etc. So it gets easier with time because you build a muscle memory with it, okay? You have to check a lot of what is going on with your CD when playing Pchrono, and I can understand that it's kind of hard to check all of these cooldowns because you do not want to have a low DPS, okay? So here I did small mistake, but we could say that overall you have used almost all of your skills already, and you're getting like 28,000 DPS, which is okay, and there's another step too. Alright, so once you have all of that muscle memory, you know when you have to check if you have enough clones, when you have to check if Venture of Pain is coming, it's every 10 seconds, and when you have a Signet of Ether ready, you have to build the muscle memory to use it with 5 Weapon Swap, 5, and your 2 utility skills. Sorry. Okay, I think that's all for now. See you in next step. Alright, let's go for the last step of the rotation, and a few more things in regards to real combat situation. So in order to get the full rotation, you have to do all that we did before and pay a lot of attention to small details. So those small details are that every of your phantasm, see when I cast them, they spawn as a phantasm, they respawn again thanks to another trait we have, and then they become clones. See over here, I get a clone. And this happens with all of your phantasms. So if I cast this one and the other two here, and I wait a certain time, I'm gonna get 3 clones through those 3 phantasms. Okay, I got the third. This is important information because in order to maximize your DPS when you do the rotation, you want to use minor rack every time you've got 3 clones. And sometimes you're doing your rotation very quickly, and some of your phantasms are becoming clones, but you already have 3 clones in here. So you lose that clone, so you lose potential DPS. And this is one of the reasons for DPS loss in the rotation. So you have to pay a lot of attention to your use of mine rack. You have to use mine rack when you have 3 clones, and if possible as soon as you have 3 clones, in order to not lose any. Also, as you saw previously, I wasn't using illusionary leap in the rotation, except at the very beginning for the first CS, to get a clone for the first CS. You can actually add this skill when it's not breaking your auto attack chain, because it's gonna give you another clone. Let's say you have 2 clones and you cast all your phantasm. It's gonna take a little bit of time before they become clone, so you can cast illusionary leap in order to get 3 clones and use mine rack right away. So this way the 3 clones generated by your phantasms are gonna become 3 more clones quite soon. So you're gonna use mine rack another time right after that. So you can use it 2 times almost in a row, and it's a good DPS kill. Illusionary leap is not the only way to generate clone. There's another way, but you can't use it on DPS benchmark, is illusionary riposte. Sword 4. Sword 4, when you're fearing an attack, it's a good defense skill. And if you get to block an attack, you're gonna get a clone. Okay, so if you use 4 and someone attacks you, it generates clones. So it's another way to get clones really quickly. I think I said it all. Don't forget that in real fight situation you can use your 3, and if you have a bomb, a flax bomb, you drop it somewhere and you can get back to close range for a good DPS with Blood Frenzy really fast this way. Okay, so you have to use all of your skills and Torpor Cruelty into in an intelligent, a smart way during your rotation. Alright,